The jungles are always an exciting place to be in. Be it the plant life or the animal life, there are simply some amazing things to see and do here. But of course, some of those things are actually more amazing than others. So let us take a look at some of the most amazing things that can be found in jungles across the world. Number 12. Angkor. Religious shrines and temples are usually found within every city, be they ancient or modern. But to find the biggest temple complex in the world inside the jungle sure did come as a surprise to everyone. In 1958, a French explorer was in the Cambodian jungle when he chanced upon a hidden city. This city was known as Angkor, and it was a very large city. In fact, so vast was the city found underneath the jungle that it took almost 100 years to excavate. And what's even more surprising is that once this city was completely excavated, another city was found which predated this one by about 700 years. The city was very different from Angkor, with special sand embankments which had never before been seen anywhere, and their purpose is unknown. Number 11. Bird-eating spiders. The Amazons are home to many fascinating creatures, but one creature that no one really seems to fancy is the spider, which is why you should be very careful when stepping into the forest, especially if you don't like your spiders large. The Amazons are home to the Goliath bird-eating spiders, which are actually the largest spiders in terms of mass and size. They are basically tarantulas on steroids who grow up to the size of small puppies, and while they have a fearsome name, it has been derived from a painting where they were shown as eating a hummingbird, though the spiders are not really known to eat birds in real life. Number 10. Half zebra. Have you ever thought that zebras look like animals on which someone decided to paint some stripes? If you do, then you might also wonder as to what would happen if someone just got tired and stopped painting midway. Well, the answer is the octopi. Found in the northeast regions of the jungles of Congo, the octopi will also remind you of the giraffe. That part is actually a little believable because it is in fact related to the giraffes. But the legs of the octopi look like a zebra even though they have no connection with them at all. Whatever the reason may be, it does make the octopi look really interesting, although seeing one in real life might be a problem because they are extremely shy. So much so that they were only discovered in 1900. Or maybe someone did spot them earlier, but thought of them as the love child of a giraffe and a zebra. Number 9. The largest flower. Since there is a lot of vegetation present in the jungles, there should be absolutely no surprise that there would be some pretty big flowers found here. But when you come across the Rafflesia arnoldi, you would be surprised. They are the biggest flowers in the world and can grow up to 3.3 feet across while weighing up to 24 pounds. They are generally found deep in the rainforests of Indonesia, Malaysia, Borneo, and Thailand. But of course, you would not really want to see the flower in full bloom ever because it gives out a strong rotting flesh smell, which is why it is also known as the corpse flower. Number 8. Sigiriya. Okay, so this one has the destination of being the 8th wonder of the world. It is actually an abandoned palace or fortress in Sri Lanka, which has been built on a 600-foot-tall vertical granite slab. This slab towers the jungles around it, and it is believed that this site was chosen by King Kashyapa of Sri Lanka because of its defensive capabilities. It is believed that the slab was originally a sort of plug that was covering the mouth of a volcano, which has since subsided and eroded. The slab has the royal palace at the top, a mid-level terrace with an intricate gate and some smaller palaces. The western wall was covered in huge murals and depicted women in various stages of undressing. But once the king lost power, it was transformed into a Buddhist monastery, which was abandoned in the 14th century. Number 7. Stone spheres. In adventure movies, being chased by a huge stone ball is often a fun scene, though no one would want to face that in real life, which is what made the discovery of spherical stones in southern Costa Rica that much more interesting. When room was being made for the banana plantations by clearing out the forest, farmers came across these balls of stone which ranged from a few inches to 6.6 feet in diameter and weighing up to 15 tons. It is not known as to who made these stone balls, and it is believed that it was some unknown civilization which also lived in circular houses. But why they were making these stone spheres is a question that has no answer. But these stones can be found in many places like public monuments and even private gardens. Number 6. Transparent frog. Many of us have spent long time at an anatomy class trying to keep our foot down as we look at the insides of a frog. Well, as it turns out, it isn't really necessary to cut a frog up before we can see its insides. Known as the glass frogs, these are tiny frogs that grow up to 1.2 to 1.3 inches in length. While they are generally greenish in appearance, their underside is actually translucent, which makes all their internal organs pretty much visible. And on a side note, these frogs kind of eat their young, so if anyone curses you to be born as a tadpole in the next life, pray that you do not end up as the kids of the glass frogs. Number 5. Cave jungle. We all know that it is a really great experience to find a cave and explore it from the inside. And when the cave is found inside a jungle, it is something definitely worth exploring. That is what makes the Son Doong Caves one of the most interesting things to be found in the Vietnamese jungles. There is also the fact that inside the cave, you can find another jungle altogether. That's right, the cave has its own ecosystem, which is pretty fascinating to explore. Perhaps that is why it is also known as the Garden of Eden in some circles. Number 4. Designer monkey. Before you start thinking of science labs and genetic modifications, let us put your mind at ease. We're not talking about that sort of designer. What we mean is that if you look at the colobus monkey, which is found in the jungles of Africa, you will think that it is paid to visit some fancy fashion designer before sitting on top of the tree. The colobus monkeys have a grayish-black fur with streaks of flowing white hair, and they are not just there for decoration either. These hairs form a kind of parachute which helps the colobus monkey slow down as it reaches a branch. Oh, and it can jump up to dizzying heights of up to 50 feet. And interestingly enough, they do not have thumbs, which helps them move around faster in the trees. Number 3. Animated trees. Okay, so many of us might have seen moving trees, but they are generally restricted to movies. However, if you venture into the Amazon rainforests and happen to be extremely lucky, you might just see a tree bark take off and fly away. Of course, they aren't really tree barks, but the potus. Potu is a bird that is related to the nightjars and are extremely adept at camouflaging themselves. They are nocturnal creatures and spend their days just sitting absolutely still on stumps or broken branches. This is also their home generally, as they lay only a single egg at a time, and the incubating duties are shared by both the male and female. That apart, they are extremely hard to spot because they tend to remain absolutely still and completely merge with the stump on which they are resting. Number 2. Pink dolphins. When it comes to weird things found in jungles, this one is right up there with the best. We've all seen dolphins, or at least pictures of them, and they are not pink. And yet, the Amazon River has a very special resident, the pink dolphin, or Boto. It is not really clear why these dolphins are pink in color, but it is believed that the reason is their blood capillaries being pretty close to the skin. These dolphins can grow larger than humans, and there is a pretty interesting legend about them, which says that in the evenings, these dolphins transform into a man and hypnotize and seduce women once they come on land. Number 1. Lost City of Incas. Whoever would have thought that a walk in the jungles of Peru would have taken one straight into a slice of history? Well, that is exactly what you get when you wander into the realm of Machu Picchu. It is one of the best examples of Inca civilization as it is very well preserved. Although built around the 1450s, it remained unknown till about 1911 when an American historian uncovered it. It is said that Machu Picchu was built as an estate for an Inca king and was abandoned during the Spanish Inquisition. And what is even more heartening to see is that people are actually taking care of the monument and have even rebuilt some of the original outlying structure to give tourists a real taste of what the city would have been like. It is one of the best examples of classical Inca architecture with polished stone dry walls, and there is also a sacred site where the 3 primary buildings are built. Machu Picchu is an astonishing place to visit, and that is the reason why it has become one of the most popular tourist destinations in the world and is has even been voted as a wonder of the world. So those were some of the amazing things found in jungles. And if you feel like taking a trip to the jungle after this video, we wouldn't blame you. Do let us know what else you think could be found in jungles in the comment section below. And if you would actually take a trip to the jungles willingly. And remember to subscribe to our channel to get the latest updates on all of our videos.